And so, next slide. And so that changed my focus, that changed my attitude. As a teammate, I started becoming more positive. I remember after that meeting with Howie, I was sitting in the lunchroom, and we had just picked up Alshon Jeffrey. And I was sitting there eating lunch with Alshon, and Alshon, I was like, you know what, Alshon? You know what it would feel like if we won the Super Bowl in this town? And he said, if? You mean when? And I was like, you know what? You're right, man. In this town, it was always like, what else could happen? Oh, this happened, that happened. All these bad things are happening to us. We need to start thinking more positive. We're gonna do this. And so Alshon really helped change me. And so that year, because I knew it was probably gonna be one of my last years in the NFL, I went to the O-line coach and I was like, listen, man, I want to talk to the guys. And so I started the speech on Saturday evenings, and I told the guys really what they meant to me. It was the first time in my life that I stood in front of my teammates and said, this means everything to me. And our relationship, we can solidify this thing forever if we just go win it all. And no one in this town has ever done it. And since then, they've been doing these Saturday night speeches. And as I look back on it, I just wish I would have done these things sooner. I wish it didn't take Howie having this conversation with me, saying like, yo, you're about to be out of here, for me to change. So, next slide. Obviously, that year, you guys know what happened. I'm not going to go through the whole season, but we end up winning the Super Bowl. And that was the greatest thing that ever happened to me in my life. Go ahead. As you can see, the celebration with all my teammates. And so I went to the highest point in my career, winning the Super Bowl in Philly, first time ever. Greatest feeling of all time. And then, a month later, Howie brings me into his office again. And he goes, listen, I think this is the perfect time for you to retire. And at that moment, I was like, man, we have a good team. I wanted to run it back. And he was like, I don't think that's the move. And so, in that moment, I went from the highest of highs to the lowest of lows. February, we win the Super Bowl. In March, they cut me. And I remember sitting at home and I was empty. Because it was my dream to play in the NFL. It was my dream to go win a Super Bowl. We did it. And now, it's over. And so, the toughest decision of my life was retiring. And I knew that I had to start over in something else. And I think as somebody that's very successful, it's hard to do that. It's why a lot of guys in the NFL that are done aren't able to make it, is because you're literally here and you got to go start over in something else. And I had talked to a lot of my friends, a lot of big time business owners in the area. And, I told them, I was like, I think I'm going to get into real estate and I'm going to start selling real estate. And some of them were like, Brent, you could do way more stuff than that. And I was like, no, I love real estate. And I'm a firm believer that you can't skip steps. And so I felt that it's good for me to start from the bottom. And I didn't have an ego. I didn't care. I don't care what people think about me. I was successful here. I'm going to be successful over here. But I'm not going to be able to skip steps. I'm going to have to start from the bottom. So, start over in real estate. And here's my journey. Invested in real estate. Casey and I did some deals together. I kind of learned development from the ground up. Those single family townhomes for sale. Jim was selling them for us. And I really got an understanding of what it is to build from the ground up. I ended up getting my license. I went to real estate school, got my license, ended up selling real estate, started a brokerage. I did a house flip on my own. It was an unbelievable house flip. It was in media. I liked it, but through all of this, I've learned what I like and what I don't like. Ultimately, ended up learning how to develop from the ground up. I built some homes for myself. Actually, in Westchester, I bought some raw land and took it through the entire process. And I truly learned everything about taking raw land and building something. Ended up building another house for myself up in Michigan. I now manage all my own real estate. Got into commercial real estate, started teaching myself that game. So industrial real estate, office, retail, all these different things that you can do inside of real estate, I've basically taught myself by talking to other people in the business that are experts, but I'm finding the things that I like. And honestly, I'm just learning new things every single day. And I think that's one of the best things about this business is I can be